To extend heartiest welcome to our chief guest, Professor Manoj Khethar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Jammu. We feel extremely honored and humbled with his presence as he could find time in spite of his preoccupations for the inaugural ceremony of the Scholars Block of IDPS. With great delight, I would also like to welcome Ms. Manisha Chaudhary, Chairperson IDPS, the entire management team of IDPS and other dignitaries who took out their valuable time to be present with us. With the support and the blessings of Almighty, IDPS Jammu has experienced an upward trend, and I feel humbled and overwhelmed with the faith every single individual has shown on us. It has been a great ride since our
कदर का खेल नहीं होता, अगर कोशिश ही ना करे इंसान तो कामयाबी से मेल नहीं होता. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to this glorious day. Here to commemorate and honor the contribution and struggles of our dear school management, benevolent teachers, and the entire staff of IDPS. On behalf of the school management, faculty, and staff, I would like to present a gracious welcome to you all. We have eminent personalities with us today who are pioneers and have given exemplary services in their respective fields. It is an honor and privilege for us. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your precious time and joining us on this special day. I also take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to a very special person, Mrs. Manisha Chaudhary, Chairperson IDPS. Thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing the celebrations with your presence. It's always special to have you amongst us, especially on a day like this, when we set up a new milestone.
First of all, I would like to say that it has been a really pleasant visit to this international school, because what I find is you have an excellent infrastructure, and the planning of this school has been right from, I would say, day one, in terms of having the facilities here, in terms of having the kind of infrastructure which you have developed. And I am told that Suminder ji has played a key role in doing it. So first of all, let me compliment you and all the members of the management of this school, and all the teachers, and of course the leader, the principal of the school, for this excellent infrastructure which you have developed in Jammu. I think there should hardly be any parallel to the kind of facilities which you are providing here, especially the shooting range which you talked already. That is the best so far as Jammu is concerned. I think I haven't actually seen at any other place, but I'm told that this is the best. So in that sense, really remarkable journey so far, and you have displayed the journey of the school. It's hardly 2 years, and you are still a toddler, I would say, in terms of the education and in terms of the development of the infrastructure and other facilities for the kids. I think it's remarkable, and I once again wish to compliment all of you who have been instrumental in creating such a wonderful infrastructure, and the kind of ecosystem, the education ecosystem which you have created, wherein you are taking care of everything of the curricular and co-curricular activities, the games, sports, arts, everything what I could see, computers, robotics, and everything in science. And today's edition of the Scholars Block, wherein you are planning to start now the real practical work for the students, I think it's amazing. I am really impressed, and I'm sure that with the kind of facilities you are developing, our future is very safe, because we are dealing with our future, our children, who are going to be leaders of tomorrow. So if they get this kind of education here in Jammu, I think we are exactly on the right path to create such future leaders who would be becoming the future leaders, scientists, professors, whatever, doctors, engineers. So in that sense, it's really wonderful and remarkable, and I'm really feeling the only thing which I felt missing is the children. So, and that is something which we are facing this COVID-19 situation, and even in this COVID-19 situation, as you have shown, the kind of work which you have done with your children, especially through the virtual mode, that again is a praiseworthy thing, because while we were all under lockdown, but you have tried to keep your children engaged, and you have allowed them not to sort of waste their time, and also remain positive in this particular pandemic period. So again, these are some of the things which as an educational institution also, it's our responsibility to create that kind of positive atmosphere and keep our children engaged, so that they don't fall prey to many negativities which are there. Everybody is facing very tough time, and in this tough time, if you are providing such kind of positive things to the students, to the parents, I think that's really commendable. So, and as you said that education, to me it appears that when we talk of education, we must, and that is what is the real focus of the new national education policy as well. So in terms of the national education policy, as you have seen that it has been now approved by the government, and it has there to be implemented, there is not a focus on school education and also on the primary education, I would say. And we used to believe, I don't know how many of you are very senior to us, and perhaps you must have seen when you were in the school, up to 6 years of age, the children were not taught even ABC.
Absolutely.
And it was only after 6 years that we would learn the ABC. I will say I am not that old as you are, but even I have done the same thing. I started my ABC after I was 6 years old. So that time, of course, there were public schools, and there were kids who went to convent. My own friends and my own brothers, sisters, they went to convent, and it was always there that they would start very early so far as the education was concerned. But for me also, because of some reasons, my formal education always started with learning of ABC at the age of 6. Now what I feel is that even the scientists have proved this beyond doubt, and now the new education policy is also saying the same thing, that these are very early formative years, and during those formative years the children, whatever, because their brain is developing at that particular stage, so whatever you teach them, and if you teach them in terms of activities, if you give them that experiential learning, that they go themselves and experience something, rather than putting them in a room and telling them you start reading A, B and C. So I think that is what is required, and with the new education, this national education policy now, all of you, and especially the management of the school should see that how your programs can be fine-tuned so that they are aligned as per the national education policy. Let you take the lead so far as the implementation of national education policy at the school level is concerned. You have wonderful infrastructure, you are new, you are not so old that you need to change many things. So you have done many things as per the policy already. So maybe a little of fine tuning here and there will put your school on track, and you can very comfortably say that we have already started following the national education policy, because these are the things which actually will become very, very helpful to you so far as your journey in future is concerned. And I think whatever we learn in the school, that lays the foundation for us to be what we will be in future. So let us take this time of the student very seriously, and let us try to give that student, the boy or a girl, that kind of exposure where we have less focus on the number of books which the boy or the girl is carrying. As you were saying that you have placed some racks where the students are keeping the books and all that, but please change the mindset. I am trying to convince many public schools here where my children studied. I tried to convince them that It's not needed that you carry every day, you carry a science book to your school. Why can't such books be kept in the school and the bag is light and the child goes there, does everything? But unfortunately, our traditional system so far has been that even parents, I would say, even parents do that. You have to prescribe some kind of homework to the child, and if there is no homework, then the parent will come to you tomorrow morning and say कि आप तो पढ़ा ही नहीं रहे, आपने तो बच्चे को काम दिया नहीं, वो तो कल रात से मेरा सिर खा रहा है कि मुझे ये चीज करना है, वो चीज करना है. आप उसको काम दीजिए so that वो रात को पूरा 10 बजे तक अपना काम करे और फिर सो जाए. And most of the time that homework is done by the parents, let me tell you, because the child tells कि ये अब मुझे draw करना नहीं आ रहा है, so then the parent has to do it. So it is no point. There is no point. Whatever we teach to our children, if we do it like that at the age of 15, you just ask them that what have you studied? Do this experiment. I will ask all the teachers here to do this experiment. When a child is of 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, you ask him or her, what have you studied in your second class? If he replies to even one question, I'll change my opinion. Whatever you have done, whatever he has been taught at first, second, third so far, he has forgotten everything. So tell me, how important is that education if he is not remembering what he has learned at the age of 2 or 3 or 4? Why he is not remembering? Because it's more of a ritual that we are doing. Learn this, read this, draw this, without understanding that if in a Hindi book there is a chapter on neighborhood and there is a photograph which shows a tree, and on tree it shows some nests and some birds. Now the teacher tells the student, tomorrow when you come back, draw this tree. Now it's a Hindi